no update on Drew's injury status either, specifically?
Nope, nothing specific. Yeah, nothing there.
What kind of bagel? Is it everything bagel, or is it like sesame seed? Or
It's a poppy seed steamed bagel, which are hard to find, actually.
The Poppy Seed Bagel, there's a great Seinfeld line, which I'm not going to go to right now because I will get hammered by my colleague Nick Wright. So instead, we will focus on this. Jameis or Taysom Hill? Sean Payton has a decision to make. It's a conundrum. He has not made a decision yet. Coach, I will ask you, who do you start? Taysom Hill or Jameis Winston this weekend?
Well, first of all, I'm very impressed with the media in New Orleans. The fact that you could give no answer on your starting quarterback, no answer on your injured quarterback, and the follow-up question is on the bagel you're eating. That's pretty good. That's very similar to what I experienced in New York. That was very much like the New York media. But I'd say it's pretty clear that they're going to start Jameis Winston, and this is though a positive and unique opportunity because they obviously love Taysom Hill, and they want to get him more involved. And the fact that he's taken plays at quarterback when Drew Brees was there, now with Jameis, you can increase the size of that package and really experiment with him probably as much as they've wanted to over the course of time and learn more about him. And it's the same thing with Jameis. He's been there now for 9 weeks. He knows the system. He knows the players. This is a great check-in to see where he is. But, Taysom Hill's thrown 18 passes, and Jameis Winston has thrown, I don't even know what his number, but he threw 18 passes in like the first 5 minutes of most Tampa games. So there's a pretty broad distinction between those two guys. So I would imagine it's going to be Jameis and with packages, extensive packages for Taysom.
Yeah. Hey, I'll be shocked if Taysom is the starter. For me, it starts with Jameis Winston, and it ends there. Like, this is why you brought this kid in. And you brought this kid in almost as a project, knowing that he has everything he needs to be really good and effective in the National Football League outside of one thing, decision-making. And who else is better at showing you the way there's two guys, Sean Payton, Coach Payton, and Drew Brees. Drew Brees in practice, man, when you talk about a machine, when you talk about working your process and working your football, like, there's no one better. We see this all the time. Drew Brees throw it to his first guy, and then he'll go through his progression as if he still has the ball in his hand. Okay, cover one here, I'm going to the flat right away, bam. And then he goes to 2, and then he goes to 3. Oh, 3's not there, and he goes to the check down. That's Drew Brees continuing to develop up here, his mindset, his mentality. And Jameis sat back and watched that. And that's where we're going to see this guy separate himself from where he was last year to where he's at today by being in that type of environment every single day. Because that's all it is for Jameis. Jameis, make the right decision. Sean Payton's football is real good. It's super simple. It's not that complex. What's complex is what they throw at you. They have different motions and different packages. But at the end of the day, we're talking about simple stuff. Cover one, go here. You don't have to think anymore. Just do your job. And Coach Payton has this way about himself that everyone in the building and coach, including the media, just respects him. Like, he has a way to talking to people and moving people in the right direction. So if Jameis gets out of line, and if he's done this in the last couple of months, Coach Payton's that type of guy, say, no, this is why I brought you here. And if you don't get the job done the way I'm asking you to get it done, you'll be out of here.
Yeah. And guess what? If Jameis were to have to leave, or if he were to get hurt, you know what the Saints would do? Sign a quarterback. Because they don't have another one on the roster. This conversation is maddening. Drew Brees missed 5 weeks last year. They let Taysom Hill throw one pass. Who's going to be the starter? Jameis Winston, Taysom Hill, or Zion Williamson? He's got time before the season starts in New Orleans. The hell we talking about? When Cam Newton went down or got COVID in New England, there wasn't this topic. Is it going to be Hoyer, Stidham, or Jacoby Myers? Because he also played quarterback a decade ago. So why isn't he being discussed? This is here is a ironclad prediction. If they let Taysom Hill throw 10 passes, he'll throw a pick. We have no evidence whatsoever that this guy can play quarterback, if we're being honest, at any level. At BYU, his last year when he finally got to be a full-time starter, he had the sparkling resume of 12 touchdowns, 11 picks. I don't understand how Taysom Hill quarterback, I know they love him. I love my daughter. I don't let her drive my car. Like, what are we talking about, Wild? Of course it's Jameis. It's why they signed Jameis, and I actually think they've got a really good backup in Jameis.
Yeah, it's obviously Jameis. He started the second half. We know it's going to be Jameis. He threw for 5,100 yards. There's two big narratives out here, Coach, and they are really like, look, has he progressed? Has he evolved and not be the turnover machine that he was? And the other one is like, hey, have all these unconventional things that he's been doing in the offseason helped? And most people think it's just the LASIK surgery, but he has a tremendous amount of other training techniques that I don't want the LASIK surgery to be overshadowed. These are not in my favorite order. These are just things that happen. First one, pushing SUVs. Does that help you win games? Not 100% sure. It can't hurt. How about this? Dodging a huge thing like it's American gladiators looking around. So if you ever see a giant medicine ball on the field, Jameis Winston will be prepared for it. The third one, hey, I don't know, Kyler Murray's talking about playing baseball. I also played baseball at Florida State. Maybe this will help me. Bingo, hello, baseball season's still right around the corner. Boom, maybe this will help me get the ball out faster. And then, of course, mobility. Who can go wrong with mobility? Dak Prescott can't get all the highlights from just shaking his hips. I can do it, too, also on my heels. And then maybe it all leads, and I'm really torn about this, but then if he starts winning, it's kind of a win for the Saints and a loss for us, that he brings back this eating a W thing, which no one really knows what to do. I mean, you win, but then you got to do this eating a W, which I thought we left in Tampa Bay. We didn't. It's still alive. So I personally am interested. We know he's going to throw the ball around the field against the Falcons. My favorite, pushing the car. So if the Falcons want to throw a car at him, nice try. Push it right out of the way, Nick.
Go ahead, my goodness.
I guess, Coach, my question to you would be, go ahead, Coach.
I don't know where to go with those training techniques. They are a bit unconventional. I like the eating the W's. I'll do that a little bit with my kids when I win the occasional game of spike ball against them. The pushing the SUV, I like that too. I might incorporate that into the workout I have for the boys. The giant, I don't even know what that is. But look, I'm for all of it.
That's a concussion. That's what that is, Coach.
Yeah,
that's a concussion. That's
Nick,
what that is. You know how heavy that thing is? That's 80 pounds. It's 80 pounds. If he gets hit in the head,
that's why he has to dodge it, Brandon. That's why he's got to dodge it. I mean, he's not standing there letting it hit him. What are you talking about? Jenna, what are you trying to ask? Go ahead. I'm sorry, Jenna. Go ahead.
Is Jameis good enough to be Breeze's backup, or is he good enough to be a quarterback? We didn't know who Teddy Bridgewater was going to be after his injury. Breeze goes down last season. Bridgewater comes in. It was an audition for him. Went and played himself into a starting role this year. Could that be Jameis Winston? Is he good enough to be able to be that guy where he can go find himself either there in New Orleans or somewhere else a starting job?
Coach, I see you shaking your head. If Jameis plays well here, he's either the Saints starting quarterback or someone starting quarterback next year, right?
Well, in all seriousness, I appreciate the work that Jameis is doing, and as those training techniques may look untraditional, but I respect him trying to develop his craft. And what I really respect is what he said when he went to New Orleans. He said he wanted to go get his master's in football. And this is a great opportunity for the organization and for Jameis to see what his grade is at the midterm. And you can see now that he's had a chance to learn the system, work with the players, be with Drew Brees, and work on that Masters. Where is his progression? He's got a ton of ability. He's played a lot of exciting football. And the question does come down to what Brandon outlined, which is decision making. And you'd like to think that with the time that he's spent and the commitment that he's made, and with this new opportunity, hopefully we'll see a change in that decision making. But I'm cheering for him because I respect anybody that's willing to recognize their weakness and go work on them and take a situation that's best for their chance to move forward.
Coach, I've seen a lot of things in the locker room. I've seen a lot of things on the field, just like you. But we talk about decision making, man. It makes you wonder if he's gotten it, because those videos that Wiles just showed us, I've never seen anything like that. Guys training like that. But look, I'm just kidding. I like Jameis Winston. Jameis and I in our families, we spend a lot of time every single year at a marriage retreat. And Jameis is one of those guys that will just cling to you if you have the answers.